Architects at Black Pond Lane. On a property with a steep slope in Farnham, Surrey, Sketch Architects was contacted to design a new replacement home. Initially, we looked into partially keeping the historic building, but a structural inspection showed that the fabric of the existing structure was unfit for use. Early on in the process, the customer made it clear that he placed a high importance on sustainable design. Additionally, they desired a structure that would blend in with its lush surroundings, be completed in natural materials, and feature glazed openings that would take advantage of the elevated views of the Surrey countryside. The building envelope was made to be extremely well insulated and airtight in order to accomplish this. PV cells have been installed on the pitched roof of the building's south-facing facade. This roof is connected to other significant components of the building's mechanical infrastructure, such as an MVHR system, an air source heat pump, and a battery for the storage of on-site energy generation. Hence, there is no natural gas used in the construction, and all of the electricity comes from integrated renewable sources. The open-plan living, dining, and kitchen rooms are mostly located on the ground floor of the structure. A custom steel and wood staircase that ascends through a double-height space above the living area highlights this section. First-floor sleeping quarters are located there. A separate snug room is housed in a glass-enclosed pod construction that connects to the main building and is distinguished by having a sedum roof and charred wood siding as opposed to the main structure's natural larch and zinc standing seam. The ceiling has exposed glulam beams that offer another level of texture and depth to the room. The homeowners wanted to build and live in a more sustainable way. It is crucial to pay attention to the fabric's design and ensure that it is correctly built on site in order to create a structure that is as airtight and well insulated as feasible. Wherever possible, we used recycled materials, and when we had to use concrete, it was made without cement. To lower the building's operating expenses, we also included a mechanical ventilation and heat recovery unit, an air source heat pump, solar panels, and a battery. From the insulation to the airtightness to eliminating cold bridging to decreasing overheating through sun shading, we have learned a lot from this project and are continually working to increase the efficiency of our buildings. Corner View House. For his partner Sophie Bell, managing director at the advertising firm Toast, their children Isla, 7 years old, and Ada, 5 years old, as well as their dog Woody, architect and certified passive house designer Tom Bell constructed the Corner View House. In the Cotswolds, where former local government properties are frequently disregarded and underappreciated, Corner View House transforms a conventional local authority house from the 1960s into a modern family home. In order to promote the value of retrofit, The project questions these assumptions and investigates and uncovers the adaptive flexibility present in our rural post-war social housing stock. Wrapping the house in a modern timber addition provided the chance to improve the home's environmental resilience through the use of passive house fabric first principles and contemporary building techniques. While maintaining consideration for the surrounding conservation area and AOM setting, the design enhances and improves the current envelope. The extension was made off-site using SIP technology to speed up the program and guarantee quality control. While the foundations were being poured on-site, it was feasible to fabricate the windows, doors, and structural shell while collaborating with the engineers on a shared computer model, achieving watertightness within weeks. Within the structural zone, SIP's high insulative and airtight values maximize interior floor area and ceiling volume. See the master bedroom. The SIP technology is enhanced by glulam frames, which also lessen thermal bridging. The big corner window opening has been supported by them. Internally, the goal was to rearrange the existing floor plans to produce a number of enjoyable and adaptable family areas while providing private nooks for respite and at-home work. The addition creates a visual link between the communal spaces and the nearby fields by housing a sizable open-plan kitchen, living room, and new informal entrance. In order to give these heavily used areas a durable finish, the boot room porch and hidden jib door experiment with the Japanese shusugi ban method of charred wood. The method also makes the larch extremely resistant to insect damage, which is important because the porch doubles as a place to keep logs for the winter. On the first floor, a new bedroom and bathroom were added. The bedroom features an oriel window that overlooks the biodiverse wildflower roof and valley below. The children's bedroom is playful with a swing as the centerpiece, while the staircase features a slide. The material selection is honest, tactile, and crafted. The use of timber is integral. Vertical Siberian larch cladding provides durability and a color-fast appearance. Dark matter home studio. An old suburban garage has been converted by hyper_studio into a studio area that coexists with the environment. This unique garden office, which can be found in Hertfordshire, UK, offers a calm and expansive setting for concentrated yet flexible work coupled with elegant architectural forms. The 35 square meter studio's design has to accommodate virtual working, with textured backgrounds and a choice of places to sit and work, according to the requirement. The studio has a straightforward rectangular layout, with one corner removed to construct the entry, and an extra wide pivoting door to simulate passing a threshold and entering a workspace. The abundance of natural light fosters a sense of connection with the outdoors, and there are window stoops from which to work or meditate. The Japanese technique of shusugi ban, which gives each square a range of delicate charred patterns varying depending on the strength of the heat used to treat the wood, gives the studio's facade, appropriately named dark matter, a somber, tapestry-like look. The spaces between the chamfered scales serve as a massive bug hotel for insects to hibernate in, helping to promote biodiversity in the garden. With white-oiled timber rafters and light poplar plywood panels running the walls, the inside is bright and welcoming in contrast to the building's dark exterior. Two light chimneys that hang from the roof mimic the dappled light that softly filters through a tree's canopy in order to give the impression that nature has been brought indoors. Both the client and the architect were concerned with creating a sustainable design because they were asked to build a home studio with a small carbon footprint and exceptional heat retention abilities. Including steel lintels, blockwork, and roof timbers, an amazing 95% of the original structure is reused in the final design, reducing the amount of waste that is dumped in landfills. The majority of the materials were purchased within a 10-mile radius to lower the amount of embodied carbon. Only one steel flitch plate and less than 1 meter square of concrete were used, minimizing the utilization of steel and concrete. Following the circular economy principles on which the studio was formed, the previous timber roof structure's careful removal enabled for 100% of the material to be reused, both in the new garden studio and another project. Esplanade House. A new home is perched on top of a terrace garden on the cliffs of Esplanade Road, on the fissured shoreline of Fistral Bay. The 3-story building, which serves as both the client's residence and office, is an example of creative use of a limited color scheme. The home has a single pitch, untarnished, bright rolled zinc roof. A stunning horizontal plimsoll line separates the facade in homage to the original roof line. It distinguishes between the smooth render above and the rough-cast render at lower levels. The textured lime rendered with silver metals, which is monolithic and sparse in construction, aims to elevate British coastal architecture. The goal was to transform commonplace fixtures and items into something extraordinary by bringing an industrial and utilitarian design into a home space. Inside, the house showcases bare concrete blocks that showcase the region's exquisite stonemasonry as a celebration of local building resources. The architecture is true to the unadorned infrastructure that supports it, with exposed galvanized pipes, ductwork, and industrial light fixtures. Follyfield. A practice for design in London. Follyfield, a sizable traditional stone home built in the 18th century and situated in the countryside of Cambridgeshire, has undergone the first stage of a multi-stage renovation that was started by Studio MCW. 3 gabled extensions of various sizes are added as part of the first phase of Follyfield's revival, responding to the property's proportions and fusing modern design with local vernacular. The largest addition, which is connected to the main house by a zinc-clad gabled kitchen and living area, is constructed from clay bricks to complement the property's original stonework. The third extension is a brand new garage made of light wood and reclaimed stone. Follyfield has been renovated for a young family who moved to the area from London in early 2019 to be nearer to their extended families. It is situated in a conservation area close to Peterborough. To honor the client's ties to the city and the neighborhood, Studio MCW was asked to modernize the traditional house with a cosmopolitan sensibility. The clients requested that Studio MCW design a more practical kitchen living space, include a place for visitors to remain on their own, and include a place to work from home and host events outdoors. 5 bedrooms, 4 of which are en suite, a family bathroom, 2 utility rooms, a playroom, a kitchen with a snug area, a reception room, a boot room, and a double carport are all included in Follyfield. With so much room to arrange, Studio MCW repositioned the home's focal point in the brand new 30 square meter addition. Large cast-in-place concrete kitchen island, black cabinetry, herringbone oak parquet flooring, and a vaulted ceiling with exposed rafters are all featured in the open-concept kitchen, living, and dining room. A utility room and a staircase leading up to a new guest bedroom that is perched on top of the new addition are hidden by full-height matte black timber doors. A separate place for visitors to unwind away from the main house is provided by the newly constructed garage, which also features a self-contained guest suite with a kitchen and bathroom. The design of Follyfield explores the central concept of connection. The house's floor plan is altered by the addition to a L shape, which improves the spatial acuity and connection to the yard. Additionally, Studio MCW created the entryway sequence, keeping the original foyer's formal front entrance. A new side door and boot room, on the other hand, offer simple, everyday entry from the garage and driveway. A closer link to the expansive gardens created by Claire Greener Landscapes is also provided by the new floor plan. Follyfield, despite being a large house, at first felt isolated within the vast site, which primarily consisted of border planting around the perimeter and a moat of expansive lawns. With the help of Claire Greener, Studio MCW was able to replicate the intimacy of a London rooftop garden with the addition of a new brick patio, a water feature, and an outdoor entertaining area that opens up to the kitchen via large sliding glass doors. The family's need for room is balanced by the long views through the grounds, and the new addition and gardens breathe life and movement into the entire property. Follyfield is a prime example of Studio MCW's consideration for organic elements. To discreetly blend with the existing masonry, the new buildings are built with slim format clay bricks in a soft sandstone color. To direct views and add surprising, minimal delight to the new wing's facade, the architects created flush thresholds with chamfered wall detailing. Rebecca Wakefield of Studio Farnham, who oversaw interior design, worked closely with Studio MCW to balance the customer's briefs architectural and decorative goals. In the upcoming stage of Follyfield's construction, Studio MCW will rearrange the second floor of the main house and add 2 kid-sized bedrooms. The house's western elevation will receive a second addition that includes a formal dining room for hosting big gatherings on the ground floor and an expanded main bedroom suite on the first floor. In 2023, the second section is expected to be finished. Follyfield, Studio MCW's first finished regional project, demonstrates the young company's adaptability and capacity to take on large-scale projects in both traditional and modern architecture. Follyfield epitomizes Studio MCW's distinctive design philosophy of creating houses that improve the quality of life for their clients and establishes a chic standard for the modernization of local homes across the United Kingdom. Follyfield. A practice for design in London. Follyfield, a sizable traditional stone home built in the 18th century and situated in the countryside of Cambridgeshire, has undergone the first stage of a multi-stage renovation that was started by Studio MCW. 3 gabled extensions of various sizes are added as part of the first phase of Follyfield's revival, responding to the property's proportions and fusing modern design with local vernacular. The largest addition, which is connected to the main house by a zinc-clad gabled kitchen and living area, is constructed from clay bricks to complement the property's original stonework. The third extension is a brand new garage made of light wood and reclaimed stone. Follyfield has been renovated for a young family who moved to the area from London in early 2019 to be nearer to their extended families. It is situated in a conservation area close to Peterborough. To honor the client's ties to the city and the neighborhood, Studio MCW was asked to modernize the traditional house with a cosmopolitan sensibility. The clients requested that Studio MCW design a more practical kitchen living space, include a place for visitors to remain on their own, and include a place to work from home and host events outdoors. 5 bedrooms, 4 of which are en suite, a family bathroom, 2 utility rooms, a playroom, a kitchen with a snug area, a reception room, a boot room, and a double carport are all included in Follyfield. With so much room to arrange, Studio MCW repositioned the home's focal point in the brand new 30 square meter addition. Large cast-in-place concrete kitchen island, black cabinetry, herringbone oak parquet flooring, and a vaulted ceiling with exposed rafters are all featured in the open-concept kitchen, living, and dining room. A utility room and a staircase leading up to a new guest bedroom that is perched on top of the new addition are hidden by full-height matte black timber doors. A separate place for visitors to unwind away from the main house is provided by the newly constructed garage, which also features a self-contained guest suite with a kitchen and bathroom. The design of Follyfield explores the central concept of connection. The house's floor plan is altered by the addition to a L shape, which improves the spatial acuity and connection to the yard. Additionally, Studio MCW created the entryway sequence, keeping the original foyer's formal front entrance. A new side door and boot room, on the other hand, offer simple, everyday entry from the garage and driveway. A closer link to the expansive gardens created by Claire Greener Landscapes is also provided by the new floor plan. Follyfield, despite being a large house, at first felt isolated within the vast site, which primarily consisted of border planting around the perimeter and a moat of expansive lawns. With the help of Claire Greener, Studio MCW was able to replicate the intimacy of a London rooftop garden with the addition of a new brick patio, a water feature, and an outdoor entertaining area that opens up to the kitchen via large sliding glass doors. The family's need for room is balanced by the long views through the grounds, and the new addition and gardens breathe life and movement into the entire property. Follyfield is a prime example of Studio MCW's consideration for organic elements. To discreetly blend with the existing masonry, the new buildings are built with slim format clay bricks in a soft sandstone color. To direct views and add surprising, minimal delight to the new wing's facade, the architects created flush thresholds with chamfered wall detailing. Rebecca Wakefield of Studio Farnham, who oversaw interior design, worked closely with Studio MCW to balance the customer's briefs architectural and decorative goals. In the upcoming stage of Follyfield's construction, Studio MCW will rearrange the second floor of the main house and add 2 kid-sized bedrooms. The house's western elevation will receive a second addition that includes a formal dining room for hosting big gatherings on the ground floor and an expanded main bedroom suite on the first floor. In 2023, the second section is expected to be finished. Follyfield, Studio MCW's first finished regional project, demonstrates the young company's adaptability and capacity to take on large-scale projects in both traditional and modern architecture. Follyfield epitomizes Studio MCW's distinctive design philosophy of creating houses that improve the quality of life for their clients and establishes a chic standard for the modernization of local homes across the United Kingdom. Forest Houses. At Forest Houses, on the outskirts of Newham's Wanstead Flats, A former builder's yard has been converted into 3 new residences, 1 3-bedroom family home and 2 smaller 2-bedroom houses. The plan also calls for repairing and extending an old end-of-terrace shop that sits across from the site's entrance to build a new 1-bedroom house. The plot is bordered to the front by a row of terrace homes and to the back by the flats parkland. The customer requested a site-specific solution that can respond to and respect the adjoining properties through orientation and massing in order to make the most of this underutilized and confined brownfield plot. In order to produce a site-specific solution that responds to neighboring properties with orientation and massing after several previous planning permissions failed to unlock the plot, DPQ adopted an iterative design process. In order to maximize the spaces in between, as stated in their practice philosophy, DPQ came up with an upside-down arrangement. In order to maximize the number of units that can be built on the limited site, the ground floor plans of each home interlock around light wells and private courtyards, providing the bedrooms with plenty of natural light and solitude. The most popular living areas are now found on the first level, which is protruding, where huge windows frame breathtaking views of Wanstead flats and improve connections between indoors and out. The residences have a distinctive sawtooth roof that is thoughtfully built to reflect the height of the eaves of the nearby homes, and they are oriented northward toward the flats to minimize overlooking of neighbors. By reflecting the outside environment, the glass grounds the design plan and its surroundings. The material palette uses the site's history as a builder's yard and the traditional masonry of the terraces to create a contextual architectural language. All components were carefully selected for their durability, recycling potential, and wide availability. Brick continues to build the plot's perimeter walls after wrapping around the ground floor to give it a plinth-like look. The first floor volumes are built from prefabricated, cross-laminated timber panels, combining conventional and contemporary building techniques to produce a line of fully ecological and cost-effective homes. This strategy established a long-term, effective, and profitable delivery program for the client, who in this project became a contractor for the first time. Following completion of the brickwork, the timber components were put together in less than 5 days before being covered in galvanized metal to produce a highly textured and cohesive exterior envelope that flows between the walls and the roofs. In an open, unfinished manner, structural components are left undressed inside. A tactile cross-laminated timber structure above the white, exposed blockwork complements it and creates a connection with the nearby tree canopies. Home in Black. Our design studio, based in Winchester, finished Black House, a private new construction home in Kent, in the summer of 2017. Black House is a modern building that takes inspiration from both Kent's historic and contemporary structures. The clients, a retired engineer and Conran interior designer, made the decision to leave their Tudor home from the 15th century and construct a modern dream home in their garden. The design team and customers went on an architectural tour of Kent in search of architectural inspiration, and this is how the building's concept came to be. Black House's floating shape and massing were influenced by Vita Sackville residence, West Sissinghurst Castle Garden. The groomed hedges and crumbling red brick walls divide the castle grounds into a number of discrete experiences. The connections between the compartments and the overall architecture can only be seen from the writing room in the central tower. The main site axes, a view from the pool to a massive populous tree, and an earlier path to the site served as the dividing lines between the rectangular massing of the Black House. Each block is connected to a different area of the garden, and a brick tower's roof offers a final connecting perspective. A central courtyard was made by dividing the volumes, and a cantilevering roof connected the modules. The design team also visited the old net huts of Hastings and the typical Dungeness black-clad homes. In response, the entire structure is covered in a vertical black timber covering. The firm received inspiration from David Chipperfield Architects' interlocking volumes of the Turner Contemporary Gallery in Margate when deciding how to combine the brick tower's low massing with the low massing of the black timber boxes. One travels through the functions of the house as each block links to a different area of the garden. One of the three entrances, which were created along the building's axis, marks the start of the journey. The 7.3 meters long kitchen/dining area is cantilevered to the east to catch the sunrise. The orientation offers wide-ranging views of the orchard and vineyard through floor-to-ceiling sliding glass doors. The formal dining room's vista across the formal front lawn is framed by a panoramic horizontal window with Margate architectural influences. The proximity of the woodland to the back of the home gives the bedrooms peace and seclusion, which is the final aspect. The center courtyard, a large expanse of glazing allowing light and fresh air to perpetually infiltrate the house, connects all of these areas and offers year-round covered outdoor space. The customers elected to develop a home that is tailored to their modern lifestyle rather than one that is historically significant when choosing to live today. As a modern response to the area, the outcome is Black House, a series of dramatic events connected to their garden. House for cellist. Client request. Our clients requested that a tiny, traditional London townhouse be gently transformed into a modern, airy residence with enough room for a quartet to practice. The new indoor area needs to be shielded from the sidewalk just outside the front window and to have a direct connection to the garden. A roof terrace would offer a novel and exceptional second open area. The home also needed to have modern conveniences including a ground floor toilet, a laundry closet, a new master bathroom, a home office, and plenty of storage. Interestingly, the client didn't care too much if there was a dining table as long as there was enough room for the rehearsal. Making a flexible arrangement that can fit all the needs, including the dining table, has been a part of our effort. The original three-story townhouse was constructed in North London as a part of an infill terrace building circa 1850. To create a light-filled, roomy, modern home to live in and play music in, the present owner intended to change the house as part of a much-needed substantial renovation. Brick and timber structures needed reviewing. We replaced the previous modifications to the house with a substantial single-story ground floor back extension and a roof terrace on the top floor, dating to the 1970s and 1990s. The kitchen is located at the front of the home and is contained in semi-transparent wood and a glass box with sliding doors. The ground floor is one large broken plan, with a big entrance hall naturally flowing into the rest of the area. Private open-plan living area with access to backyard. The internal design is a meditation on spatial continuity, a research project into compression and expansion, and a flexible exercise. The junction of the rectangular footprint and the triangular prism enclosing all the service spaces and the stairs defines the usable area on the bottom floor. The end result is an open room with no hallways or doors and just a box that partially encloses the kitchen and a circular skylight. The triangle's junction creates pockets of privacy because the garden is hidden from view from the front door and one must enter the center of the house to fully appreciate how deep the expansion is and how open the area is. To create an acoustic, organic environment, the rotating angles lead the free flow around the ground floor and pleasantly embrace the heart of the scheme. All the flexibility needed in a modern home for a musician is incorporated into the center of the ground floor layout. The storage volume doubles as a dub-C, dining table bench, and bar. To make room for rehearsals, the dining table may be shifted to the side. This space is prominently marked by a circular roof light that draws natural light deep inside and softens the house's contours and shadows. Through the rear glass doors and the roof light, plants that live in the garden and on the green roof may be seen. A custom-made steel staircase on the second level and an electric roof hatch provide access to the roof terrace. The stairway's base doubles as a planter and will be equipped with an irrigation system. The house still bears the imprint of the past, therefore we took care to preserve as much of the old architecture's charm as possible. The original brick chimney is left exposed in the master bedroom on the top floor, lending texture and character to the space. The ground level is dominated by light oak floors, matching woodwork, and rough lime plaster, which all add to the tranquility and acoustic comfort of the space. To highlight threshold regions, various stone accents, primarily made of green marble, are placed throughout the house. Reclaimed bricks are used for the rear elevation, which also has a stone upright, inspired by the Molenpline houses by Tony Fretton Architects. The roof patio has an IPA deck and a lead finish. Sustainability plan: to ensure proper insulation, the ground floor and roof have been reconstructed. The windows that lacked secondary glazing have all been changed out for double glazed ones. The addition has a wildflower green roof that improves biodiversity and lowers the possibility of local floods. Leighton House. A writer and filmmaker find a new home at Leighton House. The plan reimagines a rundown, small area at the end of a 1960s terrace constructed on the site of a World War II bomb. The goal was to make the most of the infill site's potential by designing a place to live and work that met the client's current needs while also having the flexibility to develop when conditions changed. After a protracted 2-year procedure to persuade the planners to accept a modern and contemporary design approach, a 3-story house that honors the spirit of the nearby 1960s terrace while addressing the Victorian context of the surrounding street was approved. Using the potential of the underground and incorporating underground areas into the design layout were crucial to unlocking the site. To build a full-length basement, intricate structural work was done. Due to financial restrictions, there was no main contractor and each package was managed independently. It was crucial to work closely with the client, who served as the project manager, and the building crew needed to commit fully and enthusiastically to the process. The project's fundamental design, which consists of a brick base at street level and an intricately designed timber-framed building above, defines it. 2 courtyards that are built into the basement below allow light to enter the design deeply. A sculptural brick chimney completes the straightforward design and serves as the ground floor's focal point by punctuating the entire composition. To fit the varied context, a soft, reddish brick was chosen, with concrete detailing and flush white lime mortar enhancing the sturdy monolithic base. White oil is used to finish the Siberian larch woodwork on the first floor, resulting in a cohesive composition that expresses the tectonic relationship between the upper and lower volumes. The forms are subtly articulated throughout the site, according to the environment of the street and corner. A roof light that runs the length of the living room is made possible by a setback between the ground floor and the first story. Internally exposed timber joists modify incoming light and provide shadows that enhance the room throughout the day. The living, dining, and kitchen spaces are separated by a continuous in situ concrete bench, creating a tectonically straightforward and structured space. External windows that face the street are veiled for seclusion, highlighting the volume's fundamental makeup. Internal courtyards are connected by large glass spaces, and the first floor has a picture window that frames distant vistas of the city beyond. The client's time spent living in Mexico served as inspiration for the warm, natural palette of materials used within, with concrete, brick, and wood softening as one moves from the public to the private. The 3 floors are connected by a clay plaster wall, and the basement level's walls and ceilings are wrapped in various shades of clay, giving the space a cozy and enclosed sense. Light floods the room as a top-lit stairway opens up. The building aims to produce a generosity of space and tranquility that the original site did not immediately suggest was attainable through material integrity and attentive workmanship. Lloyd Iced House. In order to create a 3-story family home, a mid-century storage warehouse structure was renovated, and a new second story and side extension was added. Lloyd Iced House is situated in the semi-industrial Cottage Green, a street in Camberwell, South London. The Lloyd Iced Foundation, a non-profit organization established in honor of the late owner's son Mr. Lloyd Iced, originally intended the building to be a live work unit. The client was unable to complete the plan, so Common Ground Workshop bought the property and established Common Ground Developments -1, a new development firm directed by an architect, to carry out the project. We wanted to utilize the project as a springboard to build our vision for long-lasting, adaptable, and sustainable homes for people to live in. We are strongly motivated to improve London's housing stock. This possibility presented the ideal way to go into responsible and thoughtful property development and to bring this vision to life. We also suggested renaming the structure Lloydized House, which the first owner accepted with great enthusiasm. The house's material palette combines a variety of haptic and sustainable elements, such as quartz countertops, sapele wood custom windows, door frames lined with Valchromat, and salvaged wood surfaces. The area has significantly enhanced energy efficiency standards, an air source heat pump for space heating and hot water, internally insulated existing walls throughout, and all of these features. We were able to build terrace fencing, floor lining, and wall lining using wood from the original floor structures while keeping the lovely external sliding entrance shutters. As a result, even if the brickwork inside of the building was gone, the building at every level quietly and playfully embraces and displays elements of the mid-century fabric. Together, these add historical and highly tactile allusions back to the old building. The suggested design features a unique, 3-story building with 2 living areas, 2 bedrooms, a ground floor courtyard, and an exterior terrace on the top floor. Through the thoughtful placement of big picture windows and doors, all of which were made locally in Bethnal Green, London, all the spaces receive an abundance of natural light. Flexibility is crucial to the design, and we have added a bifolding wall on the first floor to allow for the adaptation of use, including a standalone living and bedroom/study, a larger living space, or a variation on these uses. In order to create sustainable environments that can adapt quickly and over time, it was essential for the brief and our vision for the future-proofing property to have the flexibility to evolve and adapt. Low-energy house. A comfortable, energy-efficient house was built by expanding and renovating an Edwardian terrace in Muswell Hill. The house's original framework was made clear, and its understated elegance was praised. Improved airtightness, triple glazing, and insulation greatly reduce energy demand. A back extension and a loft conversion are recent additions. This project, which serves as the residence of Ben Ridley, Director at Architecture for London, aims to serve as an example of how to sustainably renovate a typical terraced property in London on a tight budget. It has been well thought out how embodied energy and energy in use interact. Timber construction, triple glazing, a continuous airtight layer, and insulation for the entire building envelope are all design elements. Wood fiber insulation was used to insulate the front of the walls inside and externally at the side and back. The original Edwardian facade at the front has been retained thanks to inside insulation. To avoid the energy-intensive steel box frames on the bottom floor, masonry nib walls were kept. Instead of cement-based products, natural elements including stone, wood, and lime plaster were used throughout. The rear addition was constructed using highly insulated 172mm SIPs, and all previous construction components met the Passive House Standards minimum U value of 0.15. An MVHR system delivers fresh air that has already been heated, making the house cozy and toasty. To provide a healthy indoor atmosphere, the system filters the incoming air to remove pollen, diesel particles, and NOx. Push-pull house. A light-filled, cross-laminated timber, CLT, and brick new build family home was constructed by Cullinan Studio in Amersham, Buckinghamshire. The house is situated in a 1930s-era residential neighborhood with arts and crafts style buildings. With its well-proportioned substantial shapes, steep roof, and selection of robust materials, the two-story detached house is reminiscent of arts and crafts architecture. The house's exposed spruce CLT framework evokes the arts and crafts aesthetic of straightforward forms made by being true to the elements. Push-pull house, on the other hand, makes use of contemporary construction techniques by using CLT that is manufactured by machines, in contrast to the arts and crafts movement, which condemned industrial processes. A conventional pitched roof is split into three pieces by the design, which also splits open the roof to let light flood into the interior of the house. The new house is oriented toward the garden, becoming a natural extension of the family's home, and the architects have moved and shifted the footprint of the previous house to better fit the family. The entrance hall and stairs run through the middle of the symmetrical main volume of the house. The two mono-pitched volumes that flank the recessed entrance hall are defined by a brick base made of locally obtained Chiltern brick and lime mortar and topped with vertical timber panels that have been painted black. The building's materials are completed by an arching roof made of gray clay tiles that seems to float over the high-level eave windows and provides views into the tree canopy from the bedrooms while still maintaining privacy. A big ground floor kitchen, living room, and dining room are all contained within an open-plan, one-story building that has an eastern sloped roof that slopes down to it. There is a study and workshop on the ground floor's western side, as well as an accessible bedroom for visiting grandparents. The architects designed a den for the lads to hide out in beneath the spacious living space. 4 corner bedrooms with baths are located on the first level. Full-height glass on the ground floor, top lighting from the center hallway, and clear-story windows above the hall all contribute to the home's abundant natural light. The family likes the sunlight streaming into their house and garden from dawn to dusk. This home embodies the ideas of Cullinan Studio, which is passionate about re-engaging people with environment in order to enhance our health, well-being, and creativity. The living rooms are organized into a series of volumes by overlapping gaps and double-height spruce walls, creating a playful and sociable home. The family's books, decorations, and artwork are displayed on a storage wall incorporated into the eastern stair, while mezzanine floors provide areas for a retreat with views back over the larger gathering spaces at the center of the house. In order for the family to live their daily lives as they have always desired, in a large, naturally lit home connected to their leafy, mature garden and surrounded by the warmth of the exposed timber structure, Cullinan Studio offered its client a custom solution that met the family's sustainability criteria. Valletta House. A family with 4 young girls hired Office Sam to renovate and expand their home so that there would be more living space and individual spaces for each child. We had to be inventive with the area because of the limited existing plan. We were able to increase the amount of light in the rooms by removing some walls, opening up interior windows, and utilizing light wells. We designed a house that is kid-friendly in the broadest sense, with curved walls, a fun snakes and ladders banister that runs the length of the house, and an arched window for each child. Adults, however, are treated to a rich choice of materials, such as glazed herringbone tiles and floor slabs made of encaustic, as well as exterior siding made of soft cedar shingles and marble railing ends. The house now features an open-plan interior designed to meet the family's need for space, with a staircase and light well to connect the 3 floors and bring light down to the ground floor. A palette of carefully selected colors are used to reflect warm light throughout the spaces. By opening up windows, a view to the hall, and a light well past the stair, this warm light created a feeling of volume in the existing Victorian house. The house's lighting changes from day to day and from season to season, signaling the passing of time. With the exterior's rounded cedar shingles fading and changing color over time, the house will evolve alongside the kids as they get older.